Wellness beautiful beings, welcome to my channel, Seeds of Silver Tree. I'll be going on a nice little excursion, a nature walk of sorts, shortly after I make a few of these videos. I'm kind of having a challenging day today. By the time you watch this video, I'll be probably in a different space, but I've been really struggling with something as of late, and today I've just been dealing with a lot of flashbacks of things that have happened to me, and it's been very difficult to, I'll say this, okay? So, a little disclaimer here: in no way, shape, or form am I trying to feed the narrative of being divisive, splitting and pitting men against women, women against men, boys against girls, girls against boys, black versus white, white versus black, wrong versus right, right versus wrong. I try to approach life in a non-dualistic way, but at the same time, being a being, having a human experience, we have no other choice but to be our most authentic human self. So our feelings and emotions, although they are constantly changing and consistent in their movement, we feel differently from 1 hour to the next, 1 week to the next. Our visions of ourselves change over time, consistently, all the time. The only constant thing is change. So I know how and what I'm feeling right now is temporary, but I'm having issues with the patriarchy, and it's a realization that you have been programmed to go about life in a certain way. Now, I am a firm believer that we live in a patriarchal society. The men that I've talked to usually have a really hard time coming to grips with this reality, that the world is run by man, and that the laws and rules are created to keep men in check, because it's already crazy out here in these streets, as we know. But they need laws. That's why laws were birthed by man, to control man. But we can see that the patriarchal systems that are in place are beginning to buckle at the knees. And anything that any energy that tries to suppress or oppress another energy begins to eat itself from the inside out. That's what's happening to the patriarchal system. So right now, at my age of 35 years, I'm currently dissolving the patriarchal programs that I have believed in for so long. I am not a feminist. You're not going to see me, I have grown out armpit hair and have gone braless, and I've worn the hippy dippy, I've been through the hippy dippy thing. I'm talking about ideology and belief systems. I'm a humanist. I am humanitarian. I'm for the evolution of humanity. So please, I'm only speaking from as a being, as a human in a female, organic, a woman's body. So I have a unique experience, just like anyone else, whether they're transgender or identify as trans man, trans woman, or a biological man. It doesn't matter. We all have our own unique and individual experiences. But what I'm struggling with currently right now in my life is, how can I let go of the programs, the patriarchal programs that have, in a way, left me pretty bitter and resentful and angry. It's so bizarre because as much as I have the attraction for the other as a heterosexual woman, and I have an attraction towards the man, right, and towards mankind and male energy and masculinity, in a way I'm afraid of it. I I'm angered by it. I don't feel protected by it. I feel hurt because that's pretty much what I've seen all my life. I'm coming to grips. I've given the patriarchal systems that I've been in and been part of more breaks and more excuses than I've given my own mother. I'm not even joking. I've been more lenient and more understanding and compassionate and empathetic, to the masculine, to the masculine collective, if you will, the male nature, for decades. Oh, he's just that way. Men are just that way, right? From absentee fathers to fathers who, aren't in the forefront of your life, you know, to males who abuse people that I loved, you know. I mean, it goes on, and that's all I know. My very foundation, in some way, even though my father was a part of my life to a certain extent, right? Because I gotta be honest, because he would be honest about it, but there are moments where he wasn't there, right? And there are moments where he was. And he put in the effort. He did the best he could, right? We always use that. Oh, my parents did the best that they could. It's like it's almost like a little card that you give them, a little a bailout card. Oh, they did the best they could. In some areas, yes. In other areas, they fail. Okay? Our parents fail us. And as adults, we have to do the work to parent the inner child within ourselves. We cannot externalize towards another, towards our mommy and our daddy at 30 or at 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 years old. I'm so sorry. Traumatic and horrible things happen to you, but you cannot do that and be a functional adult. That's how dysfunction begets more dysfunction. When you have grown adults who don't take the time to parent the unparented parts of themselves on their own, whether that's through spiritual help, spiritual guidance, or through therapy or counseling, you can't. It's that much harder being an adult in a world as a broken child, but the broken inner child in yourself, because you're still blaming mommy and daddy for their F-ups, right? So back to the patriarchal programming. When you realize as an adult woman, okay, that your very foundation of your connection and your experience with male energy in your life has been more negative than positive, it really is very jolting. Because as in my mid 30s pushing 40, I'm really beginning to look at certain things in my life and patterns and cycles and seasons in my life where because we're programmed to put men on a pedestal, in a way, as they're programmed to put women on a pedestal. And these pedestals are farce. They're not good. They're not healthy. It more like a role more than a pedestal. Like men are supposed to be this way, women are supposed to be this way. And so that's what we're programmed to believe. And we're, the expectations that men are supposed to be this way and then they're not. Or women are supposed to be this way and then they're not, and then we're disappointed and bitter and resentful and we're hurt and we have all our mommy daddy issues, and it's a cluster F. It's a clusterfuck. Excuse my French, but it is. And so right now I'm like, okay, what is the best way to release this patriarchal programming in a way where I feel neutral about my human engagement with the male energy, with masculine energy, the divine masculine, whatever you want to call that, right? How can I move forward and not as a bitter, single, angry woman, right? Because I would declare being single until I resolve this within myself. And someone told me recently, well, it's not the other person, it's just you. I understand that way of seeing things in that perspective, but I also believe that's also quite dangerous, because you're bypassing the very issues, the systematic issues that people are put under, men and women. Like, men suffer under patriarchal rule and patriarchal systems just as women and women and children do. Everyone's suffering under this patriarchal system. I'm sorry. Men don't even benefit from their own system that they built for themselves. They don't even benefit from it. Everyone's suffering. To me, a matriarchal system is a lot more connected to nature, connected to community. It's focused on growth mindset. It's not this capitalist way of, you gotta suffer through it and alone and independent woman. Like, all this stuff is not natural. It is the byproduct of this male dominance in a way that everyone's suffering from. So again, I'm not pinning men and women against each other. These are ideologies that the whole world, to a certain extent, believe in. And everyone's wondering why things are going to shit culturally and politically. It's just, anyway. So back to, releasing, because right now I'm identifying these programs. Disney's a perfect example, right? All the women, we are, poor little princesses stuck in a castle somewhere, okay, by an evil witch. Because that dark feminine is the evil witch, right? The Jezebel spirit, right? That's so evil and bad. And women need to be saved from that, right? So we wait on this man to come and save us. Our knight in shining armor. Rapunzel, Beauty, Cinderella, Princess Tiana, Mulan. Mulan was like, nope. She wouldn't have bought that life. She was like, okay, if I have to be part of this patriarchal system, then I am going to be a man. So that's what she did. She cut her hair. She joined the boys. She fought in the war. Okay? See, Disney started to switch it up a little bit over time, obviously. But again, it's and then the men, when the little boys would watch these movies, they'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to go save her. I'm supposed to be the hero. I'm supposed to win the prize. It's so ass backwards from what is natural and what is real. But, I want to heal this part of myself. I guess this video is a little bit more transparent, without going into the serious details of my personal life. Because I don't want this to be just about me, I really don't. And again, I feel like that's even a form of protecting the men, protecting protect you. It's so crazy how even right now at this moment, I'm like, oh, I don't want to offend. I don't want to bring this person up. I don't want to bring that experience up, because that's going to make them look bad, or that's going to make, it's going to hurt them in some way, or it's going to hurt something in some way. I have to be careful and protect them. That's how deeply ingrained this is. But that's changing, though. People are, these women, especially in the entertainment industry, is falling apart, thank God, in a good way, you know? But yeah, I just, making this video, I know it's a little all over the place, but I'm going to make this in multiple parts because this isn't going to be an ongoing thing that I'm going to really get into, and forgiving the divine masculine, forgiving the male energy, the man, you know. And at foremost, I must forgive myself. But this anger and this resentment I have, when I look back at my whole 35 years in this life as a woman, as a human being, having a female experience, I'm like, good God, where are the righteous men? You know what I'm saying? If I know sincerely I'm trying to be righteous, I'm trying to do the right thing, and I look at the women closest to me, multiple generations, my sister, my mother, my niece, my best friends, and I think of all of what they have gone through and their relationship to men that surrounds them. I'm like, holy crap. And we all need to work on this. This isn't just a man thing. This is, again, no one is benefiting from this patriarchal system anymore. Everyone's waking up from it. Marriage is a joke. Marriage is a business contract. Finally, people are beginning to understand the true purpose of marriage, you know? Do not marry for love. Good Lord. Don't do that. You marry to protect your financial assets, if you have any, and for children. That's it. That's it. If you marry for love, you're going to be in trouble. But, no, you choose to be with someone and share your life with someone and be a partner to someone because you love them. But marriage is different. That is a contract, a financial business contract. Ain't no way anybody can convince me otherwise. I'm not going to be here, F the patriarchy. Like, I'm not, listen, okay? I'm not an activist. I'm not. You're not going to find me in the streets. You're just not doing it. I am an activist in a different way. In a metaphysical way. I want to uplift people. I'm not trying to divide people. But I do feel this shift in me in the past 6 months of just like, ugh. Like, how, it's almost like, I wonder sometimes, like, God. Like, I wonder how God deals with this. Like, you see, like, in a religious aspect, I guess, or perspective, God's looking down on his children, and his children are doing the most heinous shit possible, and he still loves them, But that's a religious dogma. They tell you that. But it's like, how can I be so attracted to male nature, but all at the same time just be disgusted and disappointed? And then you'll have spiritual people who spiritualize and say, no, that's you. It's not the other person. I'm like, but we're all reflections of each other, right? I take my part in it for sure. Because what in me would attract something like that and say yes to something like that? That's what I want to investigate. That's what I want to make whole again and to heal. People say, no, Rashida, it's not you. It was never you. No, don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what the truth is, and we'll take it from there. Because I'm not going to sit here and push blame. I hope I'm not coming off that way, but I mean, come on. It's willful incompetence. That is what I see in our society right now. Willful incompetence. Meaning, you know what you're doing, but you're doing, and you know what you're doing, and you know the right way to do something, but you willfully and intentionally and consciously choose to do the exact opposite. That's fucked up. And I see it on a massive scale, on a macro scale, and a micro scale. I see it in the health industry that I work in, the educational system I've worked in. I see it in the public. I see it in my family. I see it in strangers. I see it in entertainment. I see it in the culture. I see the sickness. It is a human issue. If we go deeper, this is not just a patriarchal thing. It is a human issue that has manifested through the patriarchy. I'm not here to make men better than what they are, or women. I'm here to uplift the human in us. I'm here to uplift the being in us. Our outer shells are just our outer shells, and they have stories and they have experiences that must be heard, that must be healed, that must be given space to expand and evolve. We don't live in a patriarchy. What do you mean? No, we do. We do. And it's falling apart ever so slowly. But they, the powers that be, we don't even, the elite hide behind everything and everyone. They hide in plain sight. These are interesting times indeed, but I'm definitely going to make more of deprogramming or dissolving the patriarchal programming, because for men and women, okay? Because this whole roles thing, like women are supposed to be stay-at-home moms, or women are supposed to be these independent, strong women, or men are supposed to be these simps and docile and feminine and catering to the women, or men are supposed to be, these dominant, power-hungry providers and protectors. You ever wonder why there's a big-ass bolt in your door, in your front door, in your back door? It's not to keep out little rabbits and little dogs and wolves at night. There's this saying about choosing a man or a bear. If you had to be alone in the forest, would you choose a man or bear? And I see this clip everywhere, and all the men are saying, oh, I would definitely choose a bear. Okay, what if your daughter was in the woods? Would you want a man or a bear? I'd definitely choose the bear over the man. That's saying something. Men are afraid of men. That's why we have war. Men are afraid of their own nature. That's why we have conflict. That's why we have gun violence. Prove me wrong. Or don't prove me wrong. I mean, the evidence is in the pudding. But I'm going to make more of these videos because it's something I want to investigate within myself. Definitely through therapy. My people need more therapy anyway. The whole let go, let God thing, that needs to go. I think that's ending. Mental health in the Black community is a must. And I'm definitely in support of therapy and counseling for myself and for anybody, especially a woman of, color, melanated, whatever. I don't get caught up in the race stuff. I just don't. There is purpose and truth in it, but there's so much more going on than just how much melanin you have in your body. It's way deeper than what we could ever imagine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.